Gordon Chang, Chinese Communist Party is preparing for war. The Chinese Communist Party is preparing for a war, according to China analyst and author Gordon Chang. Several recent developments in China's policies, particularly an amendment to China's national defense law, could signal that the regime is prepping for a full mobilization of its military, according to Chang. China's newly amended national defense law takes certain powers over military matters from the Civilian State Council and gives them to the Communist Party's Central Military Commission, which controls the People's Liberation Army, Chang said in an email to the Epoch Times. That move centralizes military decision-making. Moreover, the amendment, which relates to war mobilization, signals that the regime is preparing the Chinese people for conflict. In addition to centralizing the authority for military mobilization, Chang noted that the CCP was making efforts to effectively sanction-proof its political elite by forbidding certain officials from owning foreign real estate or shares in offshore companies. If Chinese officials and their family members do not own foreign assets, foreign countries cannot strip them of their holdings, Chang said. Shedding these assets, therefore, makes those individuals immune to one of today's most commonly imposed sanctions. Through the centralization of authority over military mobilization and the shoring up of economic defenses against potential international sanctions, Chang believes that the CCP is preparing for the possibility of armed hostilities. The question remains, however, as to just where such a war could break out. Waging People's War. Following a month of unprecedented military exercises and economic retaliations, Taiwan is in the limelight. There are numerous other flashpoints along China's periphery, any one of which could quickly escalate to outright conflicts, such as the mountainous Ladakh border region that China shares with India, disputes throughout the South China Sea with the Philippines and Vietnam, and disputes in the East China Sea with Japan. Indeed, Chang believes that China's neighbors could be a potential target should the CCP believe the opportunity is on its side. In the past few weeks, China's regime has put Taiwan in the spotlight, but the Chinese party state is threatening most of its neighbors to its south and east, Chang said. All neighbors there, large and small, are under threat. We do not know where Beijing will strike next. China's Communist Party does not act on grievances. It acts when and where it smells opportunity. Beyond hostilities in pursuit of regional hegemony, Chang said there is another threat permeating the world: the CCP's ambition to leverage an international people's war. People's war is a doctrine established by communist leader Mao Zedong and later evolved by Deng Xiaoping to promote long-term revolutionary communist struggle. According to Chang, the current CCP leadership is blending the doctrine of people's war with a global Chinese identity to weaponize the Chinese diaspora community and promote the CCP's interests. China's regime makes the blood argument that all Chinese are of the same blood and that all are therefore bound to support the Communist Party, Chang said. The party has recently been making the case that it must unite the world, Tianxia, or all under heaven, and that means uniting all Chinese, no matter where they live, and no matter their citizenship. Biden unprepared for CCP aggression. Though the CCP has been working on weaponizing the Chinese diaspora against the West for decades, Chang does not believe the United States is prepared for conflict with China. Indeed, he said that the Biden administration failed to comprehend the CCP as an adversary. President Biden gives the impression that he is oblivious to China's mobilization of Chinese society, Chang said. He will not even call China an adversary, and he certainly does not use the correct term, which is enemy. To that end, Chang said that he feared the administration is content to watch and wait as the CCP prepares for armed hostilities that could overwhelm the United States and its ability to defend itself. Biden must tell the American people what China is doing, tell the American people that they too must prepare for war, and tell the armed forces to get ready for battle, Chang said. Too often in the past, American presidents let enemies attack us first. The Chinese will not, with their first attack, give us the opportunity to rally ourselves. Whereas previous animosities in the Sino-American relationship were effectively overcome through dialogue, Chang said that CCP leader Xi Jinping now maintains a military that is superior in every way to that of China 20 years ago, and that the regime is now, after years of preparation, prepared to go to war. She is making all of society preparations to engage in sustained conflict, Chang said. China is now more ready for battle than it has been in centuries. That's what makes this moment truly different.
Hope you listen to it all the way through. So why these, I don't keep on saying it, why these gun control groups are out here and trying to take away our ability to defend ourselves in the Democrat Party and some rhinos, China is prepared to attack. Why they pushing this critical race theory, divide and hate, like a Joe Biden speech, the biggest danger to the world is not President Donald Trump, it's China. But they won't make a decision that way because most likely they're working with China. That's the only way I can figure it out. Or they got some kind of deal or whatever. When President Donald Trump was in office, the Chinese wasn't making this move. They said the Chinese, when they see weakness and opportunity, they must see weakness and opportunity in Joe Biden. Because he is weak. He's weak. He's a puppet. And they see that. He must be their puppet because they must see that too, though. Or he must be a puppet from somebody else. Because he is a puppet. He's not doing it himself. Somebody's controlling him. They can control President Donald Trump. That's why they was mad at him. He wasn't the inside as they was. Or as they is still right now. Your biggest threat right now is the Democrat Party. The gun control, rhinos too. Your biggest enemy right now in the United States is the gun control groups. Your biggest enemy in the United States right now it's the people pushing CRT, divide and hate. We all need to come together. I don't care if you like that flag or not, but they want to put a Chinese flag over the world. So what you gonna do? You gonna say, ha, don't like it still, or whatever, and just go with what they trying to do, take over the whole world, or you gonna do like our ancestors did and pick up that flag, like the 54th, Tuskegee Airmen, Buffalo Soldiers, and say, you know what? I'm standing for freedom. And F Joe Biden, F the Democrat Party, and F the rhinos that try to take it away from me by trying to take away my right to defend myself and make it easy for these Chinese or the CCP or any other foreign or domestic group to come in and do what they want to do to us and to me and you. Wake up. This stuff is serious. This world get more dangerous. No, whatever. I was finna wash clothes and do all this, but this came on. Had to play it for y'all. So it is what it is. Take it to heed. Vote all Democrats out of office. And these rhinos that support these Democrats, get them out of office too, though. And find you and do your homework and find your real conservative Republicans. Real conservative Republicans.